Hello, welcome to episode 67 of the Hrudai podcast. Today's generation is stressed, distracted, emotionally exhausted, and physically unhealthy. But what if healing was already inside us? In this episode, we are diving deep into healing, energy, food, emotions, lifestyle, and the hidden truth behind modern health with someone who is transforming thousands of lives across India. Joining us today is Dr. Eswar sir, a yoga and a naturopathy physician, co-founder of PHC Lifestyle Clinic, Nutrition Science.n, and Sampurna Ahara, India's first whole food plant-based social enterprise. So let's bring Ishwar sir on screen. Hello sir, welcome to the Hrudai podcast.
Hi, thank you so much. It's an honor
Thank you
to
so
be
much.
here. Yes,
Yes.
hello.
Hello sir, how are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. I'm very, very happy to have you today and learn about one of the most amazing things in this generation, which is very important. And this is my first health podcast, I could say. I'm very happy and delighted to welcome you to this show.
Amazing. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having
Yes.
me.
Likewise, I think audience are also very excited to welcome Sir on this show and learn about one of the best things in this generation. So let's get started. To start off with, sir, tell me more about your childhood and one of your favorite memorable moment that you had, still you remember now.
About my childhood, is it?
Yes.
So I have wanted to heal people without medicine since my childhood. And it started off one night when I had a dream that I was stranded on a desert island. There was nobody coming to help me, and I was too sick to move. I could see the vultures overhead and the wolves surrounding me. The sun was setting. Woke up in a sweat. I realized it was just a dream. But then I realized, what if we could find a way by which people could stay healthy without medicines?
Hmm.
Then people all over the world could live a longer, healthier life without, being independent. That's what started my journey.
Wow. Can you tell us one memorable incident that happened in your school days?
Yeah, this happened in my school days when I was 12.
Okay. Oh, nice. Wow. So, what was your passion as a child, and did you continue the same passion till now, or did it break at some point in time, then you shifted to another passion?
Yeah, no, I was lucky to have been able to follow my passion since my childhood. This has always been my dream.
Wow, amazing. Good to know that, sir. So, can you tell us what actually is passion? How important is passion?
How important is passion? Is it? Interesting. Um, I think passion is what makes life worth it. No, you can
Hmm.
go through life like a robot, doing things mechanically, but then when you have a dream and you're able to pursue that dream, it gives life meaning.
Hmm.
I think that's one
Yeah,
of the most important things.
right. So tell me if I'm wrong here. So I discovered this and I define this. So passion is your purpose. Purpose is something that comes from your heart.
True.
Yeah. So you should make your passion as your purpose in life. That's where everything that you do goes in a right direction, in a right way. It may not be perfect, but it is in a right way that you already know that you can come up with this, you can come up with that also, right? Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. So do you think this generation is surviving more than actually living?
Um, I think I don't know. I guess it depends on how you define the two. Um, but I would say I don't even know if we are surviving well enough. Like if you look at the average life expectancy in this generation, it seems to actually have started declining in many places all over the world. If
Mm,
you look at longevity, if you look at lifestyle diseases, all of those
mm,
seem to be getting worse and worse. I think that we are at a place where we finally have the opportunity to start taking control of our lives.
Yes.
And if we are able to understand how to do it and actually take those steps, then we can achieve so much more because you only get one life.
Yeah.
You need to live it to the fullest.
Yes. I think life is taking control on us. We are not taking control on life. Yeah. Right. So, how do you define your health? What is health according to you?
Sure. There is the WHO definition of
Okay.
health is a state of complete physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Beyond just not being sick, you
Mm-hmm.
need to feel great. You need to be able to pursue the things that you want to do in life
Mm.
and be able to go after your dreams.
Yeah.
And health shouldn't come in the way. You can have 100
Mm.
problems until you have a health problem. Then you have only one problem. So how
Mm.
do you prevent that? How do you continue staying healthy? That's what I talk to people about.
Mm. Right. So, people today have more comfort than ever before. Then why are depression, anxiety, and everything of negativeness is increasing?
Sure. I think there are so many reasons for this. One
Mm.
is on one side, you have the kind of stress that we're exposed to with, say, take social media, for example, right?
Mm.
The amount of um, new interesting information that we're exposed
Right.
to every 3 seconds as we keep
Yeah.
scrolling is something that's never happened before in history.
Mm.
I don't know
Correct.
if your things are even designed to get that much of new information
Yeah.
constantly hitting our brains. And also the way algorithms are created, it
Mm.
serves what you want to see consciously or subconsciously. And the brain kind of rewards you for uh, watching things that are that have a great hook that hook you into that video, which may not always be the most peace giving things. It may not always be the most peaceful things to watch or to see or experience on such a consistent basis. There's also the other parts of the stress that we face every day in our homes, at our workplaces, the
Mm.
kind of expectations we have, and those not being met by society, the kind of diets that we eat getting worse, which also contributes to brain health.
Mm.
And on the other side, I think finally people are starting to come forward and take support for it. I
Mm.
don't know if the rate of depression is going up as much as more people are now aware of it and now are taking help for it. But I think the most important thing is overall, we need to focus on making sure we are supported. We're supporting each other and taking support ourselves to stay healthy physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Mm. Right. Absolutely, yes. So, can you tell us how did you get started and how did you discover that health is very important in our lives?
Yeah, I grew up watching my grandparents take medicines for diabetes and high blood pressure. And, I used to fight to be the one that I have to give the medicines to them in the evening as a child. And I just wanted to help them. That's where my whole journey started. And
Mm.
I became a yoga and naturopathy doctor. I realized that the biggest problems today in India when it comes to health are lifestyle diseases,
Mm.
diabetes, heart attacks, high blood pressure, obesity, fatty liver. These are the biggest health crises in our country that very few people are talking about. And
Mm.
I decided if that's the biggest problem, then that's what I want to dedicate myself to solve.
Mm. Right. So, do you think just healing is enough if you get any disease, or you need just also medicines with healing?
Sure, medicines are super important. They save lives.
Mm.
Surgeries save lives. When you are at that stage where your body has given up and you need support, medicines and surgery can definitely save your life. But the
Mm.
question is, should you wait until you get to that point?
Mm.
If you're looking at a slice in time, like you take today, for example, this 24 hours, the number of people who are going to have a heart attack, is surgery needed for them, is medicine needed for them? 200% without a doubt.
Mm.
But if you look over time, 20 years from now, 10 years from now, or even 1 year from now, the
Mm,
number of people who are going to have a heart attack on that date are today having a chance to switch to a healthier lifestyle.
mm.
Medicine can't help you to fix the root causes of the heart attack that's going to come a year from now, but lifestyle changes can. And that's why lifestyle is so important.
Right. So at the period of aging, right? So when they are aged, right? So we see our grandparents, right? They get leg pain, they get lungs, and they get heart attack just in fraction of seconds. And do you think it's just the age that is uh, becoming like that, or is there any thing that is really affecting them?
Sure. Heart attack is largely a lifestyle disease. 90 to 95% of heart attacks can be prevented through a healthy enough diet and lifestyle. So, when you're asking about is heart attack just because of age? No, it's not. There is almost like literally 90-95% of them are related to lifestyle, not to
Mm,
age factors. So, it's very important to know that we have control over our destiny if we fix our diets today.
mm. So, do you think old, no, younger generation, the 90s, where we call, right? So, those people are healthy more than this coming generation? And
Um,
tell us, like, why is this?
Sure. So I think you'll need to look at it as two different lenses. One is if you look at it from infectious diseases,
Mm,
malnutrition diseases,
mm,
then we are definitely better off. We have better nutrition all around. We have less infection burden all around, and we have
mm,
much better health in those respects. But
mm,
when you look at lifestyle disease burden, we are much worse off. Okay, we
mm,
have much higher rates of diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, everything from acne to cancers, all of
mm,
these have worsened over the last 2, 3 decades.
mm. So, what is one lie the modern world has taught us about health?
A lot of people believe that their health is from their genes. If
Yeah.
their parents are diabetic, they're going to get diabetes no matter what. And that's a lie. Your diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, heart disease, you may have all of these genes. The rest of your family may be suffering from these diseases, but you
Mm,
still have a chance to prevent those diseases in your lifetime. Okay.
mm,
These are called lifestyle diseases for a reason because they are related to your lifestyle and they're caused by lifestyle. We like to say that genes load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. People have more control over their health than they realize.
mm. So, you're telling it's not the genes, but we could prevent it, we could change it. It's always
Sure,
inside
genes play
us.
a role. They play a role in increasing the risk,
Mm,
predisposing you to the disease. It's
yeah.
like saying somebody has a short temper,
Mm,
so that means they're always going to be angry no matter what. Doesn't work
mm,
that way. Even
mm,
if you have a short temper, you learn to control your anger. You learn to manage your emotions better. You learn to become a more stable individual. You can't give the excuse of being born with a short temper
mm.
for staying angry throughout your life.
Right.
You
Right.
have to improve that. The
Mm,
same way, you may be born with a gene that predisposes you to diabetes,
mm,
but you can prevent it to a large extent by living a healthy lifestyle.
mm. Right. So, if food can heal, why are people becoming more sick than ever before?
Food can heal if you use it as medicine, not if
Mm,
we continue eating the way we are today, with the amount of junk and oil and sugar and dairy products and animal foods in our diet, then those are only going to increase our disease risk. For example, when we eat more, vegetarians have a
mm,
higher risk of diabetes than vegans. Non-vegetarians have an even higher risk of diabetes than vegetarians. And people who eat more wholesome plant-based foods have the lowest risk compared to all the other groups of people. So if we are able to use our food as medicine, then food is medicine. Otherwise, the food that we eat is actually turned into something that kills us off faster than we need to die.
mm. Right. Now, can you differentiate between healthy and unhealthy food?
Sure. Broadly speaking, there are two types of food uh,
Mm,
food dimensions that we need to understand. Number one is when we eat food from animal sources rather than plant sources, those
mm,
are associated with higher rates of disease risk. For
mm,
example, meat, fish, seafood, eggs, dairy products. Okay? Everything from milk to paneer to cheese, yogurt, butter, ghee, etc.
mm,
Second one is when we look at processed food,
mm,
which
mm,
is like sugar, jaggery, oil, white rice, maida, tapioca. All of these are processed foods. Now, when we eat these two categories of food, the more we consume, the higher our disease risk. But when we move away from these foods, when we move to plant-based, wholesome foods like your fruits and vegetables, whole grains, pulses, legumes, nuts, and seeds, then we get healthier and healthier with every meal that we eat.
mm. Right. So, do you think if we skip a breakfast and have fruits or vegetables for a meal is just enough for our body?
I mean, if you're just looking at one meal, then you can't really say if it's enough or not. You'll have to look at the entire diet overall.
Okay.
If you want to have a fruit and vegetable breakfast, great, go for it, no problem at all.
Mm,
But through the day, are you having a balanced meals? Are you having your whole grains, pulses, legumes, nuts and seeds also? Then yes, you may have a good balanced diet overall.
okay. So, and also, can we have fruits and vegetables every single day?
It's not about can, we must. It is
Mm,
definitely good. And if we don't eat them, then we're in
mm,
trouble. Did you know if we eat, we need to be eating at least 3 servings of fruits, 3 to 5 servings of fruits, 2 servings of vegetables, 2 servings of green leafy vegetable, and 1 serving of cruciferous vegetable, and one
mm,
serving of berries. These are all the specific food groups that we need to eat every day to optimize our health span and our lifespan. When we eat less than this quantity, then we increase our disease risk. Our risk of strokes, for example, goes up if we eat less than 3 servings of fruits. And if we eat less than two, it goes up even more. If we eat less than one, it goes up even more. If we don't eat fruits every day, we have the maximum stroke risk from that particular category.
okay. Mm, right. So, why do young people today feel mentally tired even without doing physical work?
Sure, I think you have the answer in your question itself. Like
Mm,
going to a workout and coming back home, you may feel tired, you may feel hungry,
yeah.
but you will definitely feel happy.
Mm,
Exercising gives you peace, it gives you happiness. And if you don't have regular physical activity in your life, that component of happiness every day is going to be missing.
mm,
So if you don't have physical activity, you might end up feeling mentally tired. But if you have that physical activity, you'll actually feel fresher mentally.
mm. Right. So, could you just give a plan for audience who's just focusing on health every single day? Like, what can they follow?
Sure. So the easiest way is to follow the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine Power Plate, PCRM Power Plate.
Mm,
Very simple. You take a plate, divide it into 4 quarters. 1 quarter should have fruits, 1 quarter vegetables, 1 quarter pulses and legumes, and the other quarter whole grains. If you have
mm,
these 4 things on your plate, that's a well balanced diet right there. It's very simple to follow. Add some nuts and seeds on top. That helps, especially with longevity. And that's it. You got it. The only two vitamins that you may not get, especially if you're living in a city, are vitamin D and vitamin B12. So supplement those two. But everything else you should be able to get by eating a wide variety of different, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, pulses, and legumes, and by following this power plate method.
mm. So, for example, we are focusing on the health plan which you gave us, but there is some plan, right? We have to go out, we have to go for a function and eat dinner there. So how can follow the same method, or because we don't have the same dishes there in function. So what can we do at that point in time?
Sure. See, there are many different approaches to this. Okay. One is how often do you go for a function? If you're going, like, no one goes for a function every day. Once
Mm,
a month, once in 2 months, that's fine. Because you're going out once a month, that should not upset you 29 days of the month. You should continue
Mm,
eating healthy for the rest of the month. That's point
mm,
number one. Point number two is when you do go out, uh, choose the dishes that are on the healthier side. Like, for example, avoid the fried stuff, avoid the desserts, avoid the stuff that is, that has a lot of dairy products or meat added
mm,
to it. Eat the stuff that has more fruits and vegetables and whole grains added to it, like
mm,
say take a kosambri, take a dal, take a plain vegetable sabji, take some chapatis. Um, Dishes like that are available at most weddings, at most functions, most events quite easily, at most restaurants as well. Next, if you don't even want to have, like for example, I don't eat food that contains oil even when I go to functions. So what do? I eat before I go.
mm.
Yeah, I finish my food and go. I'm not going to a wedding to eat the food. Yeah, I'm going to wish the couple. That's the
Right.
important thing for me. So focus
Yes.
on that. Focus on the people. Focus on the family and the friends. Food is a secondary thing.
Yeah. Right. Amazing. So when I tell my family members, right, you go to function to meet people, you can eat food at home. They say food is much important. Okay, you need to be healthy. I think that is also right. At the same time, that is right to be healthy. I understand, but the main goal is to meet people and talk to people because you don't get that kind of environment at home, right? Because there always nobody coming to your house every single day. You just meet just once in a while, right? That's what I was telling, and you clarified it little more. I think my family members would want to watch this clip, right? So, how dangerous is stress eating and emotional eating in today's generation?
Yeah, I think very useful question for many people. Our relationship with food is so critical. Okay.
Mm,
We've started using food as comfort. We started using food as an emotional support. Whenever we feel down, we eat food to feel better. And I think the root cause of that is our childhood. Whenever anything good happens, we celebrate with food.
yes.
Functions, festivals, special occasions, there's food. Exams got over, go out for a meal. Birthday party, go out for a meal. Anything like you get a job promotion, buy a cake, cut a cake, eat it. And I think it's important for us to do two things. One is
Mm,
start associating happy memories with things other than food. Like, for example, go to a science museum, art gallery, go on a trek, go
mm,
on a walk, go exercise, go for a yoga class, sign up
mm,
for swimming lessons, do
mm,
something fun outdoors, play badminton with your friend, you know,
mm,
things like that, which is not food related, not necessarily. Um,
mm,
Still have great food, but also associate it with other memories, other kinds of memories. That's number one. Number two is if we crave to eat something that's tasty, make sure that you have stocked up with food that is also healthy for you. Like
mm,
instead of eating, say, a dessert that has a lot of sugar, dairy, butter, ghee added to it. Make a dessert at home with dry fruits, fruits, nuts, and seeds,
mm,
and eat that instead. Like people don't realize how ridiculously easy it is to make chocolate ice cream from home with bananas or with sweet potato. You need literally two ingredients. Okay, you take ripe bananas, chop them up, freeze them, and then grind it with some cocoa powder. If you have some vanilla extract at home, add a few drops and make it even better. That's all. You don't need sugar, you don't need milk, you don't need anything else to make this ice cream. And it's literally banana. Most of it is just banana with some cocoa powder and vanilla extract. It tastes delicious.
mm.
Okay, you can do the same thing with sweet potato. Boiled sweet potato, freeze it, and then grind it with the same cocoa powder and a little bit of vanilla extract. And it tastes amazing. Great chocolate ice cream. So make this chocolate ice cream and eat it every day. When somebody asks you, tell them, no, no, this is my vegetables. I'm just eating my veggies and fruits.
Wow. Amazing. So, audience, try this recipe and comment below in our community section. Go ahead and post this video. Also, tag us on Instagram if you could, so that we know that you have made it and you are healthy, right? So, we'll be happy to show us that love. right? So thank you so much for that recipe, sir. So I shall also try it out and let's see, right? So is timing important when you eat food? Because I see many people say that before sunset you need to eat your dinner, finish your dinner. So is it really important, and how does that work, and why is it important?
Yeah, I think before sunset, eating dinner is important because what happens after dinner is the same amount of food gives you a higher blood sugar response, a higher cholesterol response, a higher blood pressure response. The same food. And it's because the body is not evolved to eat food after sunset. In nature, before we invented light bulbs at home, we were eating food before sunset,
Mm,
and that's what our body has evolved to do. So all our mechanisms for digestion, absorption, metabolism, they all start slowing down after sunset. And when we overload the body with food at that point, it causes a higher sugar response. So blood sugar level increases, cholesterol increases, blood pressure increases, fat storage increases, all the things which we don't want start happening after that time. They did a study where they hooked people onto a blood glucose IV drip for 24 hours, and they found that sugar level should stay the same, right? Because
mm,
it's coming through the drip at the same speed, but sugar level actually spiked up after sunset, showing
mm.
that any food that we eat after sunset has a worse adverse reaction compared to the same food that we eat before sunset.
So when you eat your food, right, after you eat, should you leave couple of minutes and then drink water, or how is it?
No, that's fine. You can drink water along with your food, no problem at all. The reason that myth is there that don't drink water with food is because ideally avoid eating food that's too dry. It's just difficult to eat. So make sure that your food contains water in it so that you don't feel thirsty while eating a meal. But if you
Mm,
do feel thirsty, please drink water.
mm, right. And also when you eat
I'm
jackfruit,
going to drink water.
yeah. So when you eat jackfruit, I think you shouldn't eat anything after you eat jackfruit for a couple of minutes, couple of hours. So why is that? And is it true?
No, that's a myth. You can combine jackfruit with your food comfortably. If you have gas or bloating, if you have a bad gut health or indigestion tendency for those, then you might want to eat less jackfruit when you're eating it with other things or eat it alone so that you don't develop that gas or bloating. Same thing with watermelon, muskmelon, and a few other fruits. So it depends on the individual, but for most people, using jackfruit as part of the meal is perfectly fine.
Mm, right. And also, when you have stomach pain, no, immediately they take medicines. Do you prefer them immediate action for medicines, or let it heal by itself for a couple of time and then you take the medicine?
Yeah, I think as Indians, we have this habit of popping pills too
Yeah.
quickly, too many times for, too often. It is important to take a step back and look at what is the root cause of whatever
Mm,
symptom we're having. If you
mm,
have a fever, you should not be eating paracetamol before talking to the
yeah.
doctor. You
Mm,
need to be getting it diagnosed first. And then if the doctor prescribes a medicine for you, that's a different story. Same thing with the stomach ache, same thing with chest pain, same thing with breathing difficulty. I have lost count of the number of patients who I've got in the clinic saying we've had stomach pain for 20 years and we've just been self-medicating, just popping pills whenever we get it. And then when you actually do an endoscopy and do the test and diagnose, the condition is already quite severe. So it's
mm,
much better to go and get it diagnosed first and then take your doctor's advice on any medications or diet changes or lifestyle changes that you need to make rather than self-medicating.
mm. Right. So, do you think social media has disconnected people from their body and inner awareness?
I think social media is a very powerful tool. I use social media a lot to get the message out there, to spread the message to other people of how do you stay healthy, how do you eat
Mm,
healthy. And I think that it is up to us to use social media in the right
yes,
way.
correct.
There is and like, you should try this if you haven't yet. Okay. On Instagram, when you go to your settings, there
Mhm.
is an option to reset content preferences.
Okay.
Okay, reset content preferences. You click on that, and your feed will start appearing like it's a brand new feed and it does not know anything about you. And you're just like opening it as a new person.
Mm,
Okay. So try this out, reset it, and just browse for like 5 minutes
mm,
and see what kind of videos start coming up.
yeah.
Within a minute or two, the algorithm will start figuring out who you are, what you like,
Yes.
what kind of videos you want, and it'll start showing you those videos. So it is a reflection of what you choose to see. Okay.
Mm,
And if you are able to then, once you do this reset, start searching for topics that you want to see, watch those videos, watch them fully with interest, and interact with those videos. You can curate your feed for you. It doesn't need
mm,
to be the brain rot that everyone else is watching. You
right.
decide what you want to watch. You can
Mm,
watch videos about neuroscience. You can watch videos about astronomy. You can watch videos about medicine, health, nutrition, healthy lifestyles, about inspiring people, podcasts like yours. You decide what you want to watch. Tell the algorithm, I want to watch this. Don't
mm,
just be like a victim of the algorithm. Be the master of it. Tell it what you want to watch and get to watch those things.
mm, right. Amazing, sir. So, and Snapchat is one of the most amazing thing for young teenagers because whatever they eat, they just send the pic of it, right? So, how important is it to show other people what you eat?
Yeah, so this is a tool that we do use quite often in our treatment plans. We ask our clients to send us photos of what they eat for
Mm,
two reasons. One is to keep that accountability going. Hey, I
mm,
need to, send a photo. So let me make sure I'm eating that salad or eating that
mm,
fruit or eating that joa roti. And on the other hand, it also helps us as clinicians to understand what our clients are eating and guide them better.
right.
And I would say outside of a clinical setting,
Mm,
it can go either way. If you
yeah.
are sending, what's the purpose for which? Why you're doing it? If
Yes.
you're sending a photo to stick to your habit of healthy eating and maintain that accountability, you have a accountability partner to do it with. Fantastic, amazing. But if you're using it to reinforce junk eating habits, maybe not.
Yeah.
Whatever you focus on is going to grow. What is
Yeah.
it that you're focusing on? Are you focusing on your healthy habits or are you
Mm,
focusing on your junk habits? That's going
mm,
to grow.
mm, right. Can unhealthy food also affect emotions, anger, laziness, and negative thinking?
Absolutely. When we eat a junk meal, especially when we eat it consistently, a lot of fried food, eat out, sugar, things like that, the level of inflammation in the brain slowly starts increasing. There are also a lot of other changes, physiological changes, that increase our predisposition and our risk of developing depression.
Mm,
I'm not saying that food is a cure for depression, it's far from it, but can eating the right kind of food help you to feel better, feel more emotionally stable, feel calmer? Absolutely. Especially things like green leafy vegetables, berries, walnuts, flaxseed powder. All of these have specific nutrients and components that help your brain to heal itself and stay at its optimal function.
mm, right. So tell us how important is it to stay silent and focus on your food when you eat?
Yeah, I think especially if somebody is trying to, say, reduce weight, for example, or start consciously eating better, it's very, very helpful to eat mindfully.
Mm,
Um, when you are distracted while eating, then you don't pay attention to your food, you don't focus on your food, and you don't feel content after eating that meal.
mm,
So you
right.
take one more serving until you start feeling content.
Mm,
But when you're focused fully on your food and you're eating meals undisturbed, then with the right quantity of food, you will feel satisfied and content. It's going to be a lot easier for you to eat better balanced meals that way.
mm. Yeah. So for example, they're eating healthy food and every single day, and even though they're eating healthy food, they're getting some health issues, health problems. So how does that work?
See, none of us are bulletproof. None of us are immortal. We are born with a return ticket. That's the only thing guaranteed in this life. The question is, even if you don't know the date on that return ticket,
Mm,
You can prepone it or postpone it based on your lifestyle choices.
Mm.
Okay. When we follow an unhealthy lifestyle, we're increasing our risk of several diseases. We're preponing that ticket. But when we follow a healthy lifestyle practice, we are postponing that date and reducing our risk of several chronic health diseases. So, regardless of the actual outcome, whether I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow and I can't predict it, but whatever happens, I know that if I've eaten healthy today, I have a slightly better chance of being healthy tomorrow. Does that
Mm.
make sense?
Yeah, right. So, what happens to the human body when someone starts eating healthy food every single day without any addiction, without any disturbance in their life?
Yeah, I think the first thing that's going to happen is you feel so much better, feel more
Mm.
calm, more
Mm.
grounded, more peaceful, less cravings, less, feelings that, oh my God, I have to eat this snack, I'm craving for a samosa. Those feelings start subsiding immediately.
Mm.
Your energy levels start getting boosted. So you feel fresh when you wake up in the morning and you continue feeling fresh until your head hits the pillow at night. You're able to go to sleep easily, wake up easily, and you've slept a good night's sleep. The second thing that you'll notice is how your body feels. Your weight starts improving. If it's lesser, it starts coming up. If it's higher, it starts reducing. Your physical fitness improves. You're able to move better. You're able to, experience less body pain, aches, stiffness. All of that can reduce. Then the third thing is your lab reports start getting better. If you have numbers that are out of range related to your metabolic health, like your blood sugar levels, insulin sensitivity, blood pressure, lipid profile, liver function tests, all of these have a good chance of starting to improve over time. The next thing that happens, and I believe the most important thing, is over the next 10 to 20 to 30 years, your risk of getting complications and falling sick significantly reduces.
Mm.
Everyone knows about lifespan. We are all talking about longevity, but most people don't know the word health span. Health span is how long you live healthily. Okay?
Mm.
And that I think is even more important than lifespan. I don't want to live to 120 on a hospital bill. I want to live as long as I can in a healthy way, where I can stay independent and do the things that I want to do, that I enjoy doing. So that is possible through a healthy lifestyle.
Mm. Right. Why do people today have information about health but still struggle to live healthy?
Yeah, I think information is only step one.
Mm.
Then we need to put that information into action. How do you do it? Now people know what to do, but next step is how. We need to figure that out. And the way to get to that how is to understand the why. Why do you want to live healthy? Why
Mm.
do you want to make that change? What is your passion? Coming back to your first question, you need to find that passion in life and decide that you are going to pursue it. And for that, you need to stay healthy. Find out your why, and then the how will unfold by itself.
Beautiful. So, has convenience become the biggest enemy of human health?
Ah, very interesting. I think convenience can be either the biggest enemy or your biggest friend, depending on whether it works for you or against you. If you are able to make it convenient for yourself to eat a healthy diet, then yes, absolutely. But unfortunately, today, like pretty much any food ordering app, any restaurant, anywhere out you go, the world is not designed to keep you healthy. It's designed to make things convenient for you, but not to keep you healthy. We need to turn it on its head. We need to make healthy eating super convenient. Okay,
Mm.
imagine if you have, like, for example, on my desk, I have this bottle of flaxseed laddus from Sampurna Ahara, which is just made with flax seeds and dates, two ingredients, and it's fortified with vitamin B12. And I reach out to this whenever I'm hungry. I don't eat any other junk snacks, junk sweets. The more often I eat these laddus, the lower my blood pressure, the lower my risk of prostate cancer, the lower my inflammation levels, and the more stable energy release it gives, and the better my vitamin B12 levels, which in turn helps with my heart health. So it's all good things that happen to me. So if we're able to make sure we're stocked up with healthy snacks at home, at work, on our desk, in our kitchen, on the dining table, then yeah, convenience can actually help us to stay healthy.
Mm, right. Now, can you tell us more about Sampurna Ahara? What is this actually, and what goes behind it?
Absolutely. So Sampurna Ahara is the first whole food plant-based social enterprise in India.
Mm,
We've been for the last 7 years. We have helped people to make healthy eating easier and yummier. We make almost 100 different kinds of sweet snacks, cakes, cookies, and meals, and we deliver them most of them across India. They are so delicious that you'll never guess how healthy they are. The
mm,
laddus, for example, laddus tastes fantastic, just the right amount of sweetness. And a random person who eats these laddus will never guess that this laddu has the capacity to drop your blood pressure, that
mm,
this has the capacity to improve your hormonal health. Uh, and I think for us at the end of the day, nobody wants to be thinking about this every day. Nobody wants to think, okay, what should I eat today to drop my BP? It's important, but we don't want to be thinking every day about it. And that's why we created Sampurnara to make that part of the journey easier, where you can still enjoy all of your favorite foods without any guilt, with the amazing health benefits that nature has to offer in terms of food as medicine.
mm. Wow, amazing. So, audience, is your mouth watering? And would you want to try that out? So, there's a link below in the description. Go ahead, click that link, and you will get that delivered at your place, right? So now, if you had only 60 seconds to save this generation's health, what would you say?
Make your health a priority. I think that's the most important thing. We are Most of us don't even take our health seriously until the day we start falling sick.
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest problem. Why wait to fall sick when you can stop the day from coming in the first place?
Mm,
Most people, and I think the other thing most people don't realize is if you wait for a sickness to hit you,
mm,
it might be too late. People talk about prevention is better than cure,
yeah.
but more than half the people who get their first heart attack don't even survive. Are you going to tell them prevention is better than cure? No, it's not better. It's the only option. If you don't prevent it, there may be no cure. So it's very, very important to make sure you're doing everything you can to prevent a disease from coming, prioritizing your health, taking the steps needed to keep yourself healthy physically and mentally from now.
Mm. Right. Now, what are the top three food silently destroying people today?
Top three foods, is it?
Yes.
Interesting. I would say number one is fried foods. Deep
Mm,
fried foods that we think are great, healthy, traditional foods that we need to be eating. But in reality, there is nothing good about deep fried foods. It's something that we need to actively start avoiding. Use an air fryer, use an oven, dry roast stuff on the stove, and you can enjoy the same bhaji, bonda, pakoda, samosa without the harmful health effects that come from deep fried food. Um,
mm,
Second one, I think, is our dependence on dairy products. The
mm,
more we move away from dairy products towards plant-based dairy alternatives, for example, you can have the amount of like dairy India consumes today is mostly in tea and coffee. So if you fix that, if you choose, say, soy milk to make your tea and coffee or plant-based milk, there are several alternatives out there. Cashew milk is something you can make at home just by grinding cashews and water. Cheapest alternative is soy milk. Most convenient alternative is companies. There's a company called Plant Yum, which makes tea and coffee pre-mixes where you just add hot water and it becomes tea. It's a powder that's made from jowar, from millets.
mm,
Okay, so ragi milk, jowar milk, moong milk, almond milk. There are so many options out there depending on what kind of flavor that you want. Okay.
mm,
So if we choose to move to plant-based dairy alternatives, then we can avoid the cholesterol, the saturated fat that comes each time we consume a glass of milk and prevent the disease risk that's associated with it. Number three is Um, I would say number three might actually be our increasing dependence on meat, especially processed meat products.
Mm.
So, when we increase our intake of protein from plant based foods instead of animal based foods, we increase our longevity, we reduce our disease burden, our disease risk. So, protein is important. Everyone's talking about it, which is great. And I'm happy that there's a focus on health. But if we choose to get protein from foods that are not so healthy for us, we may get protein, but we may also fall sick.
Mm.
Diabetes, for example, the risk increases the more meat you consume. But the more you choose to go towards plant-based meat options, if you have a meat habit, then choose to try plant-based meat, which tastes the same as meat. Is going to like taste exactly like you're used to eating, but it's not going to be made from meat. It'll be made from plant-based ingredients like peas and soy and rice and moong. So it's much healthier comparatively. You know, use that as a transition food to slowly move away from meat, and then you can eventually come to a plant-based diet later after that. So yeah, those would be my three big ones.
Wow, amazing, sir. Beautiful. So, when people buy products, is it necessary to see the brand names when they buy?
Yeah, I would say the most important thing is to read the label,
Mm.
regardless of the brand name. Figure out the ingredients that are there in it. Yes, some brands are probably more trustworthy than others, but ultimately it all boils down to that particular ingredients that have gone into that particular product. If you find additives, preservatives, processed foods, sugars, hidden sugars, oils, palm oil, your dairy ingredients, milk powder is so ubiquitous in so many different things that don't even need milk powder. Like in garam masala I found milk powder once. What is the point? you know so look for the ingredients and see what is there in those ingredients before you choose whether to buy something or not.
Right. Why are successful people still unhappy and unhealthy?
That's interesting. Maybe it has to do with their expectations. Maybe it has
Mm.
to do with burnout when you are trying to be successful. Even if you do succeed, you still are probably putting a lot of effort into that. And it's very important to prevent that burnout by prioritizing yourself along with that success.
Mm. So nowadays restaurants are very amazingly built, and many restaurants are just coming, and more than the food items there, restaurants are looking so good, right? And people are just loving it more than what they eat. They're just going there to see how is that vibe, the positive energy there, ambience there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
true.
what daily habits are slowly killing people without them realizing it?
Yeah, I think we spoke a lot about food, but even
Mm.
apart from food, I think sleep and exercise are two very important things. People
Mm.
don't realize that if you are not asleep between midnight and 3 a.m., then you're losing out on precious repair activities that the brain undergoes only at that time of the day. Okay?
Mm.
If you sleep too late and you skip this midnight to 3 a.m. sleep, then you lose out on that repair and your risk for stroke starts increasing significantly. It's important to have good quality sleep, at least maximum 7 to 9 hours. Anywhere within that range is good, not less than seven, not more than nine. And the other one is exercise, physical activity, which might actually be like the cheapest way by which you can live a
Mm.
longer, healthier life is to just move your body more. Do practice yoga at home, go for a walk, go for a run, go to the
Mm.
gym, go to a dance class, go learn swimming, take the steps instead of the elevator, simple things like that. Like, for example, one of the things I've started doing the last few months is I don't have a chair. So there's no backing. I sit on a stool.
Mm.
And on a stool, after about half an hour, 1 hour, it starts getting uncomfortable. Back starts getting a little strained.
Mm.
So it
Mm.
reminds me that I have to get up, go walk for a few minutes. So every hour, I take a 5 minute walk outside and come back.
Mm.
And
Wow.
that way, I stay active through the day. Otherwise, I'm sitting at my computer doing consultations all day.
Mm.
it becomes very stressful. As a doctor, life is,
Yes.
does have a lot of work associated with it. So things like this can help you to stay active through the day.
Hmm. Right. So, how can parents create healthier lifestyles for children?
Yeah, very important question. I think parents have a lot of power over their child's long-term health.
Hmm. Hmm.
It all starts with enabling their child to develop a healthier relationship with their body, with their mind, and with the food that they eat.
Hmm. Hmm.
Not being told to eat this or eat that, but actually giving their child the information and the chance to make those decisions for themselves. I think it all starts there.
So now, when we come to the last part of this episode, that will be rapid fire questions. So, are you excited, sir?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. One food you wish people would stop eating immediately.
Fried food.
One habit that changed your life completely.
Keeping a sleep alarm for 10 p.m. every night.
Morning sunlight or meditation.
Both, why not?
One word that defines health.
Consistency.
Tea, coffee, or herbal drink.
Herbal drinks.
One emotion that silently destroys health.
I think it's loneliness.
Fast food or fast life.
Fast food or fast life? Very interesting. I think it's the same option, though.
What's more dangerous?
Um, I don't know. I think it will really depend on what the fast food is. If it's healthy fast food, then yeah, go for it.
Mm. One healthy food most people underestimate.
Amla, highest antioxidant food on the planet.
What's harder, changing mindset or changing diet?
Oh, mindset, 100%.
Wow, amazing, sir. Beautiful. Thank you so much, sir. This was just mind blowing, amazing. Got one new recipe from you, sir, and got lot of mind blowing points that people could use it. So, what is your last message that you would want to give me as well as my audience?
Absolutely. I hope this was helpful. And I think one thing that we tend to do is listen to a lot of podcasts and then say it was great, but then we don't really end up taking things back from it. So if there's one thing that I want to tell you, it would be choose one thing that we discussed, that you heard, any one thing that you want to put into action, not from tomorrow, not from today, but from now, and repeat that to yourself right now and take that back with you so that you took back something helpful from listening to this talk. Please do that. It's super simple and hopefully it's going to help you take one step closer to changing your life. Thank you for
Absolutely.
having me here. It's
Thank
an
you. Thank you
absolute
so
pleasure.
much, sir. Thank you so much, audience, for being here. Try that recipe and get back to us very soon after you do that. Make that recipe at your home. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, audience. Let's meet in my next episode. Till then, take care and goodbye.